2 out of 3 pregnancies are unwanted, which says that if you just provide the means to people to deal with the unwanted pregnancies, to either prevent them or deal with them after they happen, that you'd be going a long way to affecting it. Another thing that truly shocked and surprised me was Iran. The imam says we need a 20 million man army, and all of a sudden they have the highest birth rate in the world. In fact, maybe in history. The war ends, and they realistically look at their situation and say, we can't have this anymore, and all of a sudden they're being rewarded or lauded by the UN of having the lowest population replacement. I couldn't believe that things could change that quickly. And I wonder what power was working there that could work for the rest of the world, because it's like they drank the Kool-Aid, you know?
Yeah, but you can't have a cigarette, you can't drink, you can't dance.
Well, and I think our talkative friend down there put his finger on it, that it is an authoritarian society. Otherwise, it's an authoritarian dictate, you know, in a society in which if you spit gum on the ground, you're going to get killed.
But in
so
fact,
they live in fear and it works.
In fact, it wasn't like China with their one-child policy. It was a suggestion from the Iranian government.
That's kind of
not an order, a suggestion.
Actually, kind of weird.
A couple other points. Pregnancies are unwanted for economic reasons. People recognize I can't afford more children, and so they don't want any more. They prevent them through abortion, which is the reason why conservatives don't want to talk about population. So, you know, making it more expensive to have children would be a good thing. Just like raising the price of any bad thing.
The B side of this.
Birth tax.
The B side of this.
Yes.
Can I bring up the B side of this? The B side of this is we found out that actually it's not true that the people that don't want them usually have them. It's usually people who are educated and actually start working. Women's rights is usually what changes the situation in the long run.
We find what walks through our door.
I really do think, please, don't tell my husband.
Yes, in this country we have to.
So what if we just did away with patriarchy, period?
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Good, because
Hallelujah.
that seems to me to be the central issue, certainly about the population aspect of this, you know. Why pussyfoot around talking about education and family planning? Let's just do away with the whole male power structure.
Right, with climate change.
But now we're really getting into it.
Tell us how to sit on our board, you know.
We were discussing how to, Phil described how Iran changed its birth rate.
Yeah.
But wouldn't we ordinarily call that in a course on management leadership? And it's not the dictatorship. We changed this country 180 degrees to fight World War II. And within a few months, the Ford Motor Company.
Yeah, but we need Pearl Harbor first, Dick.
Just a moment.
I'm sorry. We need Pearl Harbor first.
It turned around, Ford Motor Company, GM, all of them, and we could do that when we today. We still have that susceptibility to respond to an authority, not an authoritarian, but to someone who is like a Roosevelt.
And I think that gets to the core issue that would hold population control back, and that is the people serving their individual needs versus the common good. I can have as many kids as I want. It's not going to affect the country. I mean, how many kids could I have anyway? So if we take that attitude, then we won't be able to control population. We have to look at our family planning. And when I say we, I mean people that are going to have children. Not just for what it will do for me, but what is it going to do for the country?
And what is it going to
And
do?
I don't think that happens very much anymore.
And what is it going to do?
I don't call it greed. I call it individualism.
I think it's more hopeful than that. It's in our self-interest to hold our population down.
Is there any way we could have one person talk at a time? I am finding it incredibly difficult to sit here and have multiple people talking at the same time. Could we possibly just?
Can I ask one more question?
You really have a lot to say, sir.
Well, I would like to
Anybody
say,
else?
are you a teacher or an academic or something?
Got her hand up forever.
We do have a facilitator,
That's fine,
and
I'll
in
leave.
this
I'll be
meeting,
glad to go.
in this meeting, at this point,
That's what I'm
Jean
saying.
is the facilitator, so she, and from this point on, she will acknowledge the next speaker, and only
Got it,
that
that's
person
her
will
question.
speak.
Okay, Quinn.
Oh, I didn't forget.
It's like on you.
Oh, I had a
Oh, okay. Phil was talking about individualism, and before that, Dick was talking about having an authority figure. And I believe that there is a lot, that we have authorities, whether or not we agree with them right now. We have a pretty conservative, we may have a Democratic president, but we have a pretty conservative government. And the media is owned by and fed by very conservative cartels of people worldwide who have vested economic interest in overpopulation, in that then provides battles, in that provides war money, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that individual people are fairly easily swayed by peer pressure when the media gets on it. And that's what got World War II going. There was a lot of people who were against it, but then it became something that you didn't want to say. Once we geared up and started going, everywhere you turned, there were posters and banners and newsreels talking about, let's do what we can for the war effort, and that changed people's minds, and that media push is going in the opposite direction right now from what we all would like to see. And I think that makes a huge difference.
One at a time, we're one at a time talking. Quinn, go on.
Go.
Dick?
Well, I just want to say something about one at a time. When Phil listed 5 reasons, I was like Quinn. I wanted to say something to the second reason. I couldn't remember it when I got to the 5th reason. And so maybe we need to go slowly and give the people an opportunity to respond when someone has several good arguments. I mean, Phil had 5 major arguments. I don't know how to handle this. I'm not bothered about the way we've been getting along here.
Well, if the group wants to just go at it like we were, we can continue. I'm finding it uncomfortable. Okay, others are not liking it also. So try and do one point at a time when you make your comment. Okay. Malcolm?
We haven't said anything much about the ecological damage. Most people don't understand why we're in the 6th grade extinction, losing species. It's actually very simple. It's called an energy pyramid. The base of the pyramid is photosynthetic. And then the herbivores above it, above them, carnivores and omnivores, so forth. Well, if you look at that energy pyramid, at the very top are the top predators. If you look at the energy pyramid, human beings have occupied more and more of the available energy in that pyramid. And it's very simple. You know, as we absorb more and more of the available energy, there's less and less for other species. So of course, species are going to go extinct. Even if there weren't pollution, habitat loss, and climate change, we would be losing species just because we're pushing them out.
Bill?
Well, I think mainly we push other species out so we can grow food. again, we feed, 2/3 of the land use is to feed animals. We just choose the ones we like to eat, instead of ones we like